as well. We know like things like the Anivia are in there. Whether or not we'll see that or not is questionable, but we are loading through into picks and bans for our first game of the day. Lightside are on the blue side, Munster Rugby on the red, and the Corky is going to get banned away. Something that's been pretty prevalent as of late.
Yeah, and it's something that Chimera, I want to say, had 2 games on last week. I don't think he played anything but the Corky, so banned away. And I think in general as well, since week 3 in both Div 1 and LEC, it's just started to get banned quite frequently.
Yeah.
Regardless of side, it seems. So Victor's going to have his Lee Sin removed away. Gwen is also a champion, which I'm glad we don't get to see, because if you saw week 1's Gwen performances, Jake, you two would be horrified of that champion. And Zin will also make the ban table. So a lot of focus on Victor. I'm not too surprised. He was definitely very impressive with a lot of his engages in week 1. So Munster trying to sort of keep him down as much as possible through the ban phase, and Karma as well will join the ban table.
Well, one final ban coming out from Munster. They have pretty heavily targeted the jungle here, looking to see if they can just deny away a little bit more. Do you think we're going to have more jungle bans, or is there something that I'm missing right now? Because again, I'm a little bit more out the loop than you. So
you have to remember, in Div 2, you get a lot more target bans. You sort of sometimes stray away from like outright full-blown meta. So don't be too surprised to see some teams, especially throughout the day, they just won't ban the meta things. They'll just ban things that they don't want to play against because they know the enemy team plays them. And then we start to see some of those more oppressive picks come through. One thing I'm surprised to see that's is still up is both Jinx and both Caitlyn. They're typically banned quite frequently still. We were seeing a lot less Jinx priority yesterday on Div 1 compared to, of course, week 1 and week 2. But away from the AD carries for now, because it's Twisted Fate that's been locked in for 5p. Of course, we know how strong this champion is. And speaking of Jinx, there you go. She does eventually get locked in. But it will be that Twisted Fate for Lightside, and it's a full bot side for Munster Rugby Gaming for that fresh, just for the additional safety net that the Jinx can provide. So it opens up Lightside here to just sort of answer with their full bot lane if they want to.
Yeah, I really like this this bot lane pickup actually for the fresh and the Jinx for Munster, because, you know, like I said, does give that safety. You have a little bit of engage, bit of team fight utility, and Jinx obviously wants to try and get excited so she can get and kite around the edge of the fight. But having that lantern for the additional safety prior to that is always going to be fairly useful. We'll see whether or not Lightside heavy lean towards bot side. They are actually going to pick up the Viego here, so looking a little bit more towards that jungle role as Jamada fades into pixels. I don't know what's happening. He's turned into a Picasso piece, but I'll carry on talking while we sort that out. There he is. Let's see what this final pick's going to be, because if they don't go for a bot lane here, we could see some pretty heavy targeting from Munster.
Something for Sena. She did pull out the Swain last week, which is pretty interesting. But instead, we're going to see Leona. So I think that's fine. I think in general, Lightside have a bunch. And we got from the interview as well, we got a little bit of information. They practice a lot of wacky stuff in the bot lane. So I imagine Munster, now that Leona has been locked in, we will see something like a Swain and maybe even a 6-ban away, just because they don't want to have to deal with it. And yeah, over to Munster. I think probably something standard in the jungle, but instead they're going to just early lock in the Ornn for Stumpy, which honestly, given how week 1 went, not too surprised. They want to just make sure that Stumpy has a very safe matchup up in the top side. And of course, Ornn provides a lot of engage, a lot of counter engagement. Right now, when you have something like the Thresh in the bottom side, you don't have your jungler locked in. It can just be a way of always having a retaliation or a way to start fights.
I'm so glad to see Akshan banned. I hate Akshan so much. I know.
Is it the GP lanes? Is it the GP lanes?
It's the GP lanes. He's just so poo to play into when you play GP. I know. Except for LeBlanc as well. I know we're going off topic a little bit, but I hate it because when you play LeBlanc, you jump in, he just swings away. You're like, okay, cool. Guess I don't get to play. We'll talk a little bit about who's coming out, because we all saw that announcement today. Yes, don't worry. We have some opinions which I don't think are slightly, not even remotely controversial on that. But let's focus a little bit more on the game for a moment. The Victor getting banned away, the Camille getting banned away. Final ban coming in for Lightside. Wonder if they're just going to try and ban out in mid a little bit more. Yeah, they could. I assume they're not going to go top because they haven't picked their top lane. So may just look for an AD carry ban here, something that can deal or support. Not an AD carry, sorry. They're the ones who need to pick an AD carry. What am I talking about? It'll probably just, there you go. Chimera is Anivia.
Yeah, see, the issue I have with this, though, is that now Munster kind of just get a free Orianna pick. I understand the necessity of, okay, Chimera, Anivia, we have very mobile champions right now. Definitely an angle. Or they want to go with the more aggressive Syndra pick. I think that's also fine into this Twisted Fate matchup. But either one of those picks, right? The Orianna provides more scaling and spacing for the rest of your team, and you also get to chunk out the Twisted Fate lane, so you can't constantly Destiny Gate to side lanes. Syndra kind of does the same thing with slightly less scaling and more, single target damage. And that's obviously what Munster want to go for. So that makes me think as well for their final pick for Gabush, they're maybe going to lean into a more dueling kind of jungler as opposed to maybe a outright team fighting one. We'll see though. When you have that Syndra, you really want to leverage that. What are you making your face up at? Was it some?
I just say it's how zoomed in Caitlyn's face is on the champ select screen. Why it's literally just her nose.
It's just
what is going on there?
That's so odd. Yeah, I don't do graphics. Who knows? Oh, it's another arcane champion. Wait a minute. So right now, Lightside, they're one-upping Munster. Oh wait, no, it's equal. It's Jinx, Powder and Kate, and it's a cinch lock-in. All right, so
that's a cinch. That took me a moment to process what the hell we just seen.
Yeah. So Singe, we saw a little bit of play out from the LCK, I believe, and I want to say though it was in the support role. I haven't been keeping up with the Eastern regions picks, but I just know that Singe was locked in. However, this time it is into the Ornn. I'm curious to know what this pick and matchup is going to be like up in the top side, because I would be lying straight out my gums if I said that I understand how the Singe Ornn matchup consistently works. But I'd imagine Ornn probably has a okay enough time.
Yeah, I feel like Ornn has good wave clear, and you can just bellow breath the fling. Like,
yeah,
you see him coming, you just channel the bellow's breath because it's like a second, I think.
It's more or less probably going to be a bit of a waiting game. There isn't too much hard direct CC, so Singed actually has a pretty decent time into most of this composition. I do worry about the Jarvan obviously being there. If Jarvan wants to lock him in a cage, he technically can do that, and we'll have to see what some of the spells Vene is actually going to be running. Whether he goes like something crazy like Ghost Ignite and then has the spellbook to have access to TP and Flash whenever he needs it. Whether he just wants to go TP and then like Ghost or TP Ignite. Loads of options for the Singed, right? I'm not too sure what the best options right now are for Singed in the current meta. But of course, that's something we'll have to track as we go into game and as sort of the game progresses as well. But I think Munster, pretty standard composition, right? Something we've seen throughout the years, sort of a very front to backish team comp where you've got two forms of engage. Not too much to talk about. Safety net for the carriers via the Thresh. Very box standard. I think Lightside, obviously, a bit more of sort of a curveball kind of composition where you've got that Singed up in the top side, yes. But you do have the Twisted Fate. You've got the Viego to kind of try and duel towards the side lanes. I think if Munster try and play through mid, Lightside are just going to struggle. And as for Lightside, yeah, just looking to probably play into that Caitlyn lane as much as they can.
I'm excited to see how they're going to pull off this Singed. It is going to be quite an exciting one. Yeah. There are tools though, like you said, you got the ability just to lock him in with the Cataclysm. If Chimera has enough orbs on the ground, you can scatter the weak. You've got the Fresh with the Flay, the box, the hook. There's lots of little things to work around. So it's definitely going to be on, them to play this right. It's been so long since I've seen a Singed, but I'm not entirely sure what his function's going to be in this team. But we are on to the Rift for our first game of the day. This is Lightside taking on Munster. It's just that defensive line to start us off.
Yep, just that regular line of scrimmage. Looks like Lightside did get a ward down somewhere. Can't quite see on the minimap where it actually... Oh, at the bottom brush, of course. So expect Touch to go and sweep that bottom side brush. And actually, just like Merbs has picked up a sweep himself. So they might try and contest that brush level 1 for the vision, of course. But other than that, nothing too fancy for the level 1. No 5-man invades. Chimera looking like he wants to get a Raptor ward down, and he will do just that. But Sviktor can come up here if he wants to with his sweeper and clean that one away. Give 5p level 2 on the first wave if needs be. But yes, nothing too crazy for the level 1's junglers. Both starting on their reds. So looks like, at least on the first clear, Lightside want to play towards that Singed, which I guess kind of makes sense when you have a weird pick like Singed in the game. You want to obviously try and play towards it. But when you've got that Caitlyn there, and now Gabush is going to be pathing down to the bottom side, it creates a bit of a dynamic where Munster, on what is technically still their strong side anyway, get to play into it a lot more freely than what you would have expected Lightside's strong side to have been played into.
Chimera, pretty heavily losing that trade there versus Fatty P, level 1, but does have the Corrupting Potion and the Biscuit, so we'll be A-OK. Might see... No, we won't be seeing any jungle shenanigans. I was getting muddled up on what side Jarvan was on there for a moment, but with the level 2 advantage, a fantastic Flay comes out, but Touch gonna get hooked, gonna get trapped, flashes away to safety. The Ignite's are down, and Merbs trying to get a little bit of additional damage off. Not gonna be able to get too much more, but Touch heavily chunked.
Yeah, I think Touch kind of baited out there by the timing of the level 2 from Blue and Merbs. Went in whilst they're still level 1, and then a minion Master died and ticked over to give Munster Rugby Gaming's bottom side level 2 as well. And Touch almost loses his life for it. Has to blow the flash. Not the end of the world, but definitely a trade that Munster Rugby are very happy taking. And of course, you're already seeing Sveni is going for the... Some of the...
Oh!
That's the first blood. Okay.
Well, there we go.
Looks like Victor was ready. And primed Gaboosh. I mean, it makes sense, right? Jarvan wants to try and be on this bottom side to disrupt the trading pans of Caitlyn and Leona into this Jinx and Thresh lane. Unfortunately, Victor takes 3 camps on the bottom side and just sits in the bottom brush. Waits for the engage to try and come in. Baloo, I would say, is over eager, but Gaboosh just isn't on time with him. And even if, to be honest, Gaboosh was there and ready and primed in the bush behind him, it looks like it would have just been a Blue first blood regardless. of Lightside, good read on the map now. Victor also gets double skull into what's going to probably be a full clear all the way back down to the bottom side.
Yeah, it's going to be that double scuttle. I mean, obviously, in preseason, they did a little bit of work on it, so it's not quite as oppressive as it used to be. Double scuttle was the worst feeling as a jungler, losing that. But
No,
it's still going to be a nice pick up there.
Always felt horrible when your laners just didn't draft anything of priority in solo queue, so you just get double skulled and then lose the game because the enemy jungler gets to double full clear and probably get the next skull afterwards as well. But we should have a replay of that first blood, and yeah, I think initially Blue actually tried to Hex Flash because he kind of flays in the bush. You'll see. I'm not sure if he Hex Flashes. No, he does go out, but he just misses the flay by a country mile. Wasn't close enough, unfortunately. And yes, Victor was there and ready, waiting for that to happen. Good read on the map by Lightside. Munster Rugby play towards the bottom side a little bit too telegraphed for Lightside in this particular instance, and gives that first blood over to the Viego. We'll see what Victor can do with it, as that's a nice predict from Touch.
Nah,
yeah.
that didn't hit. And that's going to cost Chimera his life. No, the lantern comes in, and Baloo just whipping and flipping. Fatty P going to get knocked up and taken down. They trade out 1-for-1 on the other side of the map, as here comes the follow-up. Touch will fall, and it's a double kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, double kill for Munster in the mid lane. Victor as well actually went up towards the top side and ganked Stumpy, so that's 2 kills now for the Viego. But yes, very nice play in the mid lane. Definitely a bit of a suspect Zenith play died though. Does follow Chimera through with the flash, but the play works out for them either way. Sveni also going to now have a bit of an advantage here on the top side, so both these teams making plays work in both top and the mid lane, as Sena going to be a bit of a nuisance to Blue on the way back in to the lane. As we will now have a replay, I think probably of the mid lane first, maybe it's the top side. Yeah, so Touch comes out of the bush, we'll have a bit of a slowdown, so we get a look at this Zenith blade, because yeah, definitely a little bit weird. Hex Flash, I mean, it's good reactions from Chimera, honestly. The flash is near instantaneous.
What?
Okay.
Nah, take a hike. That didn't hit.
Take a hike, yeah. I have to agree with you. It's just a good thing Blue was there and on time with the Landon. We know how that mid lane play ends. It looks like this top side play just pretty much starts with a regular walk-in for Victor. And yeah, too much CC and damage already taken. As Sena does eat up the zap, but she's able to walk away. No major issues there. Good attempt, but now with Caitlyn not having flash, just means the next attempt will be a lot easier to stick. As Victor will now come down here, guard this lane as the wave crashes in. Actually, it looks like we're just going to get a start up on the Mountain Dragon here for Lightside. And hey, Jake, while she was away, guess what they did? They just
oh my god, I saw.
Yeah.
I am so happy. It's gone. We are free. Are we playing on that patch?
We're playing on 12-2. So
I can't remember which patch they removed Chemtech.
They actually, I'm pretty sure they disabled it and it was 12-1 still. But yeah, it's disabled either way. Yeah, it's 100% disabled now, but I think they actually disabled it on live, which was 12-1 at the time. So
okay. Oh
yeah.
thank God.
Gone are the days of consistent revives, but
What are you talking about? The next champion has it on the W. Amazing design. Terrible kit. What the hell are they on when they did that?
Yeah, I'm not too... Okay, so whilst I'm reading the map, assuming Touch and Blue don't want to have a bit of a fist fight here between their engage abilities, yeah, new champ looks pretty fun. Sveni looks like he wants to have a little bit of shenanigans go on here. We'll force Gaboosh off the red buff for now, and it looks like it's actually just going to prime Victor and 5P both to walk in here and just take away the red buff. Munster, they know it's happening, but see Chimera, looks like he had to reset at some point. Stumpy in a position where he could contest as a 3v3. And I feel like it could work, honestly. Munster Rugby Gaming's top side, if you were to ask me which side's stronger, at this moment in time, I'd definitely say theirs, but unfortunately, Gabush doesn't have access to the Cataclysm, so...
I've just had
that's not
a
gonna be right now.
realization, actually, about this Singed matchup. Singed might actually be amazingly big brain into Ornn. Because
you can ground... You
Mega
can ground...
Adhesive stops him from ulting.
Yeah, 100%.
That is huge. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, no, it's a good matchup for that specific interaction. As it's like they're trying to set up on Fatty P, but slick walk away, nothing more.
Able to pick out the gold card. Stumpy
There you
coming
go.
in.
I mean, here we might see it.
Not going to be able to use it right now, though, as actually had to swiggle the old potion, and Zvene
Really
that
wants
speed
to
up, but that's it. That's going to be it.
Yeah, had the ghost proc as well, so he was zooming at supersonic speeds. But yeah, that's the interaction. And yeah, let's talk about Renata for a second, just assuming we don't have any action. Because yeah, I mean, I said it on Twitter, I think this champion has a really cool kit. I think overall the design isn't too terrible. Just the revive. Why? Why is it there?
The fact that she turns her enemy teams against each other and revives means team fighting into her will just not feel fun.
Yeah,
I think just remove the revive, and I actually think she has a really cool kit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I think if the revive is gone or it's turned into some other kind of mechanic, I mean, granted, I think W is a little bit shallow, right? It's kind of like a free Jinx passive. Just give it a different mechanic. I think it's cool. If it like grants some kind of like health regen, like quick health regen or shield, like on takedown or whatever, like I'd much rather have that than like a full blown revive upon death. And I think you got a pretty solid champion there, but we'll see. I have to see how it lands, right? Because at the end of the day, we've seen a bunch of different champions over the years come out with these crazy expectations, and then the champion's either bad or undertuned or what have you. But I'm just surprised at the pace in which we're getting new champions, because Zeri was released on 12.1. Now 12.4, we're already getting a new champion.
Yeah, I've actually not had the chance to speak to you about Zeri. What is your thoughts on her?
Let's just say, when she does eventually reach pro play, I'm not going to say pick banned, but she might end up being pick banned. Some of the versatility and the damage that this champion is able to put out from a very long and untouchable range in many cases does make her seem pretty uninteractive.
Yeah, the Triforce build as well is they're doing something about that though, luckily.
Yeah, a lot of the way that the Q interacts with on-hit items and such, I'm not sure if they're going to change how that works or not, but yeah, so things like that just kind of need to be tweaked a bit. As here you go, Zvene. Cheeky little root. Yeah, Stumpy can actually cast R if he wanted to here. I think he had a pretty good shot at maybe taking down Zvene. As soon as that adhesive is down and you have your ult, I would assume you'd want to try and actually go for the 1v1. Maybe not enough information on where Fatty P and Zvictor were until this very moment, so I didn't want to risk pulling the trigger. We didn't talk about Zvictor did pick up the Rift Herald, by the way, so that is Lightside's objective. The gold dead even 10 minutes in, but could definitely swing depending on where this Herald gets dropped and how it gets used.
We'll keep our eye on this next dragon. It will be spawning up in 30 seconds. Zvictor's already in the area, and they're looking to go for something onto Merbs. They've got that solar flare. Merbs flashes away as the ace in the hole connects. In comes the lantern, the gold card to follow as well. Flash by Fatty P into the hook. He's all alone now. Z's going to get flayed back. The Call of the Forge God's been laid down, and that's one dead TF. They've already got a two-man knock-up with the Ornn Horn. As over the wall they go. Touch has to flash over. Zvictor's out there as well. They are going to get the charge off and a couple of plates gifted over, but at the end of the day, Munster going to be quite happy taking that fight.
Yeah, that's so over-eager. You get the flash from Merbs. He's got cleanse. Why flash? Go gold card. It's always going to be too deep. You're always going to get CC locked. You're always going to have Chimera follow. And of course, the teleports, the way they work now, it's not unleashed teleport right now, like how it used to be from the start of the game. Svene just doesn't have teleport anyway. So there's absolutely no way that you would have any kind of numbers advantage. So that's going to be a dragon now in Munster Rugby's favor. And as Zvictor, he's just on the wrong side of the fight. So this is going to be a long road home.
There's a tower there as well, so is able to just about make his way out.
Yeah.
A couple of plates were picked up by Zvene in the top side while all of that action was going on. Didn't have teleport available, so Stumpy was able to get interactive with the fight there. And this is kind of one of your big criticisms of Stumpy at the beginning of the day was didn't really have the greatest laning phases, didn't really have the greatest games coming out of him, but definitely making a bit of a recovery on that front now.
Yeah, 100%.
Up in farm, able to interact and get in with the team. On duty doing good.
Yeah, on duty doing good. I think as well, the lane matchups probably didn't help Stumpy in week 1. Though, yeah, still, lane matchups aside, didn't look great. So far, in the opening chapters of this game, definitely a much better look. Probably as bamboozled as we were by the Cinch pick, too, but we should have a replay primed of this bottom side dive. So, yeah, I mean, nice chunk out onto Merbs, right? With the Q and with the ace in the hole, but you've gotten the flash, he's already got the land in there. Just sort of turn around, go for the herald play. You've already forced them off the tower, you've already got teleport coming down, you know Chimera's on his way as well. It's just too deep. You're never really going to have follow-up from that kind of range, so yeah. Just too much of an overstep. FattyP loses his life for it. Yes, they have the flash now, or the cleanse now, so if they go for a repeat in the next couple of minutes, it will be something they'll be able to pick on, but the timing has to be absolutely stellar. As oh, indeed, I don't think Victor's going to get that red buff, as Gabush will probably make his way over. And oh, Hextech Gate Gaming, look at that. Oh, he touched it.
This might be our first Hextech together, actually.
Yeah, we didn't have one on day 1.
No, we didn't. It's FattyP looking for the gold card onto Chimera. Not going to be able to find it, unfortunately. Chimera just going to hold that pumpkin and scare him off, but it's 1 dragon apiece, so that soul is a little bit of a ways away for both of our teams. As actually FattyP is going to destiny down into the bottom side of the map and try and get involved in the action here. Baloo's been gold carded. Zvene's got the poisons down, but FattyP's taking quite a few shots from Merbs. The exhaust is going to do enough to save his life momentarily, but these two are in for a whole world of hurt. As Cataclysm's going to go down, and Zvene can't do anything other than just offer the super mega adhesive. The Zhonya's hourglass gets used, and he will be straight down to the grey screen.
Yeah, sent to the grey screen by Gabush there. Definitely an interesting choice of Destiny Gate. That's 2 sort of unsuccessful Destiny Gates back-to-back though for Lightside. They will pick up the tower in the top side though for Sena, so that's going to be big for the Caitlyn. Already has that first item, but you can see kind of matched, mirrored by Merbs on the bottom side, who also has a level advantage for now, level 10 to the level 9 of Sena. So this Jinx, sort of late game win condition, definitely working out a little bit better. Doesn't have tier 2 boots though, whereas the Caitlyn does. I think maybe down to, I didn't quite catch what the start was, but considering Merbs has the Doran's Blade and Sena didn't, either Sena sold it to complete the items or slide off with a longsword, so definitely why the item discrepancy was there. But you can see pretty much at parity, gold-wise, for the time being. It's mostly kind of in other areas where there's slight differences in items, right? Stumpy's got a level up, well, actually, yes, does have a level up on Svene, but also an item up on his counterpart as well. And in the jungle, outmatched. Gabush down a couple of components for now. So Munster Rugby Gaming kind of edging out in some of these item departments in places, but you have to remember some of the item build paths as well, like for example FattyP with the Twisted Fate, a lot cheaper with the Everfrost and Rapid Fire Cannon, so will spike a little bit sooner in terms of utility and use than Chimera might. But whilst you've got the Ludens there, a lot of burst will be offered from Chimera. However, does have Merc Treads. Definitely worried about a lot of the CC, so not going to have that double pen like we commonly do see out of the Syndras. But I think that makes sense. Twisted Fate, Leona, even the Viego to a degree. If Viego's ever able to get on top of you, Merc Treads are definitely going to have a lot of value.
Well, the Rift Down's going to get started up here by Lightside. They should be able to use this as a crack open mid lane. They've been able to take the tier 1s on bot and top, so doing okay on that front. The gold lead, very marginal though. It's 500 separating the two teams. But opening up mid side really opens up a lot more on the map. But now Merbs needs to be careful. This could be a successful jump in as the Lantern comes down. Touch is going to go for the Solar Flare. Zenithblade connects. In comes Chimera the teleport. Vene jumping in everything onto this Jinx, but she's still alive. The unleashed power by Chimera will do enough as here comes the rocket. Touches and dunked, however. And that is going to be 1 kill for Lightside and nothing in return for the side of Munster.
Yeah, Munster get nothing from this fight at all. Lightside as well, they're going to drop the Herald in the mid lane. They're going to have mid lane priority. This tower won't quite drop to this play, but it's going to be a big enough chunk that inevitably Sena should be able to push down the mid lane and actually kill it, though.
Oh, that was close.
Damage. Very close, indeed. I think if the smite maybe came down in time, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Either way, but Hexa Dragon being started up by Lightside because they had the first move here, but Munster, they're able to return. Maybe steal this one away from under the noses of Lightside. Either way, I think these teams are going to want to fight for it.
Good scatter onto Zvene, just zoning them away as here comes the Piltover Pacemaker, but Sena not going to be able to steal away that dragon, unfortunately. And Lightside, good team fight, or at least a good pick into a rotation, but at the end of the day, they haven't been able to pick too much up with this. The wave is fairly small, but with Baloo and 2 others zoning away. This tower will fall down, so Munster able to actually pull ahead in the tower. Oh, sorry, equalize in the tower score. Top lane tier 1 still standing. That's going to do them wonders here. The gold still very, very close between these 2 teams. It's very close game right now.
Yeah, and I think to be expected is top side of the table, I imagine, towards the end of the season anyway. Matchup, Munster very easily could have walked away being 2-0, but unfortunately, Lundqvist and his Gwen had something to say about that on day 1. A little 1v5, because I know you didn't get to see it, as our camera was astray very briefly.
Fell asleep at the wheel. Drifted off.
Asleep at the wheel. So yeah, Munster definitely looking very comfortable. And that mid tier 1, definitely pretty major repercussions, just because Caitlyn loves to have that tier 1 as sort of a safety net, right? The Caitlyn always wants to push up and cash the waves very, very high in the mid lane, like you can see right now, but there's no safety net of that tier 1 at the moment. So if you ever see a rotation, for example, from Stumpy come out from the bottom side towards the mid lane, where you just get a max range Call of the Forge God, you can no longer retreat to that tier 1 any longer. So pushing up, at least by themselves, is going to be very risky, like how we just saw, especially when Lightside were committing numbers to the top side. Maybe Munster will try and pick on it in the future.
Feels like the tempo slowed down a little bit this game. You know, it feels like Lightside have tried to force some fights, but maybe just haven't really been able to go in their favor. Sena, saved by the minions, as the Everfrost and the CC chain onto Baloo is enough. There's the solar flare. Ace in the hole's going to come down as well into the hook.
Oh.
Lovely pick onto the bot lane duo there. And just like that, Lightside are going to be able to crack open this tower, get those 2 kills, and just blow this gold lead open.
Yeah, blow the game wide open. Svene's going to make a rotation as well. And it's that stolen form of the Fresh, which locks up the kill for Merbs. Real nice aim. Set up, though, by touch. Most importantly, the rest of the members from Munster will come over and defend their mid lane tier 2. But the damage definitely done already. And Lightside now going to pull ahead. Over 2,000 gold. Really nice play from them in the mid lane. Just capitalizing on a bit of an overstep. Blue Merbs just get a little bit too comfortable. Think they can find that pick onto the Caitlyn.
It was a nice pick, though, in return. Good rotation from Lightside. Just keeping it in mind, keeping their eyes on. Obviously, Sena has got Gale Force on this Caitlyn, so it does give it an added area of safety, but even so, Caitlyn's not got the most mobility. A champion can be caught off and picked off if you're able to chain that CC, and between Merbs and Baloo, they definitely do have enough to alleviate that. As Sena's just going to pick up her red buff, and turn back towards the mid lane while Fatty Pete get his hands on the blue. Looks like maybe a little bit of revenge is in order, though, from Munster, as they are grouping a couple of people over in this bush. And Victor, I think this might be the end of days for you. Down he goes. Shut down. Picked up as the Call of the Forge God's been thrown out as well. Touch might be next up on the menu. A fantastic Mega Adhesive to zone off any further chase, but it is just going to be the 2 for none in favor of Munster, and they're going to instantly rotate towards the Baron here.
Yeah, jungle dead, 20 minutes into the game, 2 IM AD carry. A lot of criteria is met here for a Baron start for 20 minutes, and Lightside, they're going to have to really do something crazy. They're going to have to pull a magic trick out of the hat to make this Baron attempt go away. But I mean,
goes his pot. He's got the ultimate. Look at the damage. Remember, Baron reducing the magic resist, so the damage is coming out. Sena able to pick up the first kill. They will answer. They won't actually answer out. I lost complete sight of the Sin. She's so speedy.
Yeah.
And that was a lovely deny there from Lightside. Stop them getting the Baron Nasher. And just the magic shred that Baron does, just doing so much work.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you see Svene get hooked there in that moment. Oh, no. I mean, okay. I mean, it makes sense. Caboose is dead.
Teleport's coming in. Looks like there's a potential turnaround on the mark here. Stumpy, no ultimate available. And actually, Svene going for a recall, does have that ultimate, teleport available, so can get into the action, but a great scatter of the week's going to land with multiple people. Here comes the teleport from Svene, joining in, 8,000 health, knock up only onto 1, there's the solar flare, they're looking to chase, the Baron's been secured for the side of Lightside, Touch now under fire from Merbs, as they're going to get the kill onto Stumpy on that front line, as Touch is oh so low, but he's able to survive for now, the red buff is burning, and that is going to be Victor getting his way out of there, as Munster are trying to turn this around, but they won't be able to do so. Lightside trade 1 for 1 and get that Baron, but on the other side, Munster will head down towards the Dragon.
It's a complete heist from Lightside. They sneak the Baron after Munster's attempt because of Caboose. They know he's dead. They've got the death timer there and ready. Munster, honestly, decent enough attempt, but unfortunately, they just can't get through They can't get through Touch and Zvene in time, causing enough disruption. Stumpy, definitely a very valiant effort to try and disrupt how much damage was going into the Baron, but unfortunately, Victor was able to finish that one off. However, the cost of this play for Lightside is the fact that Munster now get this third dragon, this second Hextech dragon for them, and now they're one away from Soul, Hextech Soul. I would probably now peg as the most powerful Soul in the game, now that Chemtech's gone. Not just because of the stats that it does give you, but of course that static shift proc, the slow. It's a lot of utility, and it can definitely proc a lot faster than you can commonly think. And when you've got multiple people proccing it in team fights where you've got these death ball clumps, oh, damage definitely starts to add up. Gaboosh got the lantern to back up, so he's going to be fine. So yeah, Lightside with this Baron, it's about what they can actually achieve, how much ground they can gain, and how much ground they can deny away from Munster by the time this next dragon spawns up. Because if they do give that one over to Munster, the scaling aspects of this Munster Rugby team will definitely start to take over a little bit here. And Lightside are going to have to lean more and more on the utility of what they have inside of their composition.
An excited Jinx slowing you with the Hextech is...
It doesn't sound fun, does it?
So unfun to play into, yeah.
Doesn't sound fun at all. So Lightside, they really have to push hard on this Baron. They can probably take this mid-tier 2 as Gaboosh. Get locked down.
I just bended the bullet there with that gold card.
Yeah. Any wanted enthusiasts. But that's mid-tier 1 down, mid-tier 2 now under fire. Or bot tier 2 rather, now under fire. As the rest of Lightside will actually make the rotation down. There's no wave for a little while after this cannon wave, but it doesn't seem like anyone can get in range. Maybe if Chimera can use the Force of Will, but I think he just cast it. But there you go, the cannon will drop. Now a little bit of relaxation, but that wave, next wave's coming in, and I think Munster, they kind of know this tower is going to drop. You can see the recall coming in from Merb, so they are just going to yield it. Too much pressure though. Touch.
Oh, nice trigger. He said, oh, even better bellows. Tower will go down though in the meanwhile.
Yeah, so Lightside, they get what they want, right? And I think especially when you consider it's on this side of the map where the dragon spawns, the position that Munster have to approach this dragon from. Now when they come back out onto the map, yes, Munster during this little window, they're going to be able to set down some defensive vision when and where they can. Once Lightside return back out onto the map, they can catch the waves very high, and then they can start to set their own vision back in this side of the jungle. And it's going to be, again, a bit of a vision war where Munster have to push back through what will inevitably be a lot of darkness that Lightside have set up. And Munster just going to be eyeing up that Hextech Dragon in 2 minutes' time.
Lightside are not going to give that up without a fight, though. I think that might be where the next major team fight breaks out.
Yeah, and I think if I'm
That'll be
Munster...
my assumption anyway.
Yeah, that would be the assumption. I think if I'm Munster, if you don't feel comfortable team fighting into Lightside right now, which is definitely a very real concern, right? You're down an IM in the jungle, you're down an IM in the mid lane. You are parry in the AD carry slot, but that mid lane jungle position right now is where the biggest disparities lie, and you've only really got around a minute realistically before you can be ready to, you know, go back, purchase, come back out onto the map. You can maybe try and bait out a Baron start.
If Merp spies an Infinity Edge on this base, which I'm assuming will be able to, because Sailor's just got an Infinity Edge from themselves, that could be big. All right, so there is an Infinity Edge Jinx now. Obviously, Infinity Edge Caitlyn's also very nice, but, you know, Jinx for those crit rockets in a team fight scenario with a level lead as well. It's something to kind of bear in mind. Summoners up for both of these AD carries, but that cleanse, very, very nice for Merbs to be able to use. Can deny some of that CC that will be coming in, especially when there's going to be a lot from the likes of the gold card, especially when it's a rapid fire gold card. Everybody's geared up right now. They're in a pretty okay position. Like you said, though, Chimera down an item to their counterpart right at this moment.
Yeah.
So it could be a bit of a problem.
Has picked up the stopwatch. So even though Chimera's not going to have necessarily, you know, the combat stats of Azonya's, has the most important part, if you ask me.
Has the utility of it.
Yeah. The utility. Going to be able to, you know, stopwatch a gold card, stopwatch a Leona ultimate, stopwatch all of these other key abilities from Lightside. So it's not, you know, end all be all from the mid lane matchup here. Touch, yeah, definitely feeling themselves on that Hex Flash over, and Stumpy just going to have a little word real quick with the support of Lightside.
Bit of an interesting Hex Flash there from Touch. Dragon up in 15 seconds, and you can see Lightside are the team who have control of the river right now. There is still that crab, though. So that's the one thing Munster have to work with. If they can get this soul, this game could just switch around real hard here. Dodging out on some of that crowd controllers. Actually jumping in. The Bella's Breast's going to block a lot of this CC. Solar Flare on, but the charges come back. There's the flip. There's the Cataclysm. They found the knock-off into a couple of members, and already Svene's getting CC'd and taken down. Mervs is on a killing spree as the rocket comes down into the zap. And one more auto attack should do it. It's a double kill for Mervs. Now looking for Sailor. It's a triple kill. They're looking for Fatty P as well. Mervs is going to get the quadra kill. Now it's Victor just going to flag and drag to safety, but they're going to continue to chase. They may go for the Penta, or they may just go for the Drake. But it is the jungler alive. They need to make sure that the smite is out of this before they attempt the dragon. What a fight for Munster.
Yeah, Munster, they come up big. We talked about Mervs eventually hitting the IE spike just before this teamfight happened. She did get to it. And now, going to be able to pick up this dragon, going to be able to get the Hextech Soul. And that's going to be big combat stats going into the back pockets of Munster, because now they can actually stand up to some of the item deficits they found themselves in for such a long time. Just a poor fight from Lightside, unfortunately. Just seems like Munster had the better position, and we'll get a replay of it, I'm sure. But we are going to be moving towards now the Baron dance, you'd imagine. Munster, at the moment, with that soul in back pocket, you can kind of peg them as being the ones that will be happy to take the fight now. And on top of that, Mervs also went back, picked up a QSS. So gold card, Leona Olma not really going to be an issue anymore. And once that cleanse comes back up as well, it's just going to be a rotation of those two, item and summon the spell, back to back.
All right, well, here we are.
Yeah.
Mervs just popping off in that fight. Had the Wormfall and Sacrifice as well, which was really big. Just get that extra kind of like half an item you get out of the Ornn upgrade.
Exactly.
But it looked like they used a lot to try and just get the Ornn, and then kind of ran out of gas at this point.
Yeah, you know, looking at where it went wrong for Lightside, that's kind of it, right? A lot of the ultimates went down on to that Ornn, and on the backside, it just seems like Chimera creates such mayhem, just kind of just being where he was. And then it's just Mervs just kind of W keying it, or the W key version as far as you can get in League of Legends, into the entire team with those excited procs. Very comfortable in doing so as old Stumpy's. The ward can't take the land. They're going to be in a bit of hurt.
Again, though, using a lot of CC and a lot of their tools onto Stumpy. Solar Flare lands on the back line. There's a good Mega Adhesive just to zone them away for the moment. But Stumpy, half HP, and he's actually 1v3ing here. Touches oh so low as he's going to take the Lantern. Stumpy does go down in the meanwhile, and they find an answer out here. Just like that, Lightside are coming alive. Zveni onto the flank. Got that blast going to get over the wall to see where they're going. He's actually going to teleport to the other side of the map. Can Gabesh stop him? No, he can't. Zveni may just have to try and take the base here as Mervs goes godlike. Gabosh can't get close enough, and Zveni should just be able to take this tower down in time. They can't reset to deal with him. They got to hold on to this Baron. This game is getting crazy.
Oh, this is so creative from Zveni and Lightside. They're just going to keep Zveni on the bottom side. He's going to take that inhibitor tower. He might even push for the inhib itself. You can see Munster, they're forced because they can't. They have to push Lightside off the Baron. They can't let it go. And because of this, now they're going to have to lose the inhibitor for free. Really smart play from Zveni. I mean, yeah, he gets out. Oh, man. You have to love it. So now Munster, they feel pressured maybe to start the Baron. They're just trying to bring Lightside in, but nice enough teleport from 5P.
Gets the scatter, and there she goes. Saina down. They're looking to try and get onto Victor as well, as they're able to answer out. It's a 2 for none in favor of Munster. They may have lost an inhibitor, but they're going to gain the Baron. The problem is, look in the mid lane. He's a mad scientist, and he's going to take the base again.
He's taken the base. He's cracked open one lane. He might be able to have enough time to crack open the tower. I don't think the inhibitor is going to be quite had. Actually, no, Stumpy's back in base. So a lot of mayhem in that sequence of events. Zveni, very creative teleport. He is a menace. He is a very big menace, Zveni. And it's what you honestly like to see from, well, basically anytime you see Singed on the Rift, you know some kind of crazy shenanigans are going to occur. And he's bringing it to the Rift this time. Munster now, they've got the Baron, they've got that Hextech Soul in a much more comfortable position to try and contest a lot of these fights, a lot of these skirmishes for the next couple of minutes. And Lightside had the best couple of fights. It feels like they're just burning too many resources onto Stumpy, right? That first fight in the mid lane, too many almost went down on Stumpy. Yes, they did eventually pick him up, I think, but at the end of the day, it gave Mervs free reign to do whatever the hell they wanted to. And now Jinx, full Mercurial Scimitar, building into that final Lord Dominic, so almost full build. Started to eclipse Saina in itemization completion. really accelerated. And those Ornn items are getting dished out too, so additional gold value in all of these mythic pickups. So even though they are down gold, the items definitely make up for that for the time being. So Lightside, they need to do something. They need to change up how they're team fighting at the moment. I don't think that they've been completely outscaled just yet. Like, they can still use some of the utility inside of the kit, but it's just about how they use it and who they use it on. The execution is still very much important. But if they lose the next fight, I feel like that that execution sort of barrier is just going to slip away from him. Execution will start to matter a little less. It will be on Munster to make a mistake. And from that point, it'll be Munster just kind of driving home the victory.
Well, Munster needs to use this Baron effectively. That's the big thing here. They've got their base cracked open. Zvene is still being a nuisance up in the top side, just looking to shove that wave in. But he's not going to be able to outpush a Baron Jinx. There is no way he's going to be able to outpush a Baron Jinx. Almost full build as well, like you were talking about a minute ago. And Lightside is just not in position to respond for this. Actually, Saina's base got interrupted by Stumpy there as well, as he put down the tree stump. And that's an inhibitor falling. Zvene gonna try and take a tier 2 tower in response, but the base is under fire. Zvene doesn't have teleport, and they're gonna need their singed.
Definitely in a very precarious position. Lightside's Victor flashes away from the flag and drag. The mid wave though, because that tier 2 is still there, Munster don't really have a clean rotation into the next lane. So for now, a little bit of a reprieve. But I say that, and look what spawns in 10 seconds. It's the Elder Dragon. So Munster, they're just going to be able to pick this one up, or at least start it off, have the positioning on it. That Destiny Gate's been pulled for information. Will it actually be used to teleport anywhere? Bit of a deep flank. They can see that Munster are definitely a little bit split up, and maybe they go for a pick.
Teleport's coming in instantly to back up though from Chimera, fresh off that base. Got the Shadow Flame finished up. Help deal with some of that shielding. And Baloo's just going to Hex Gate in. This is getting real hard for the Mervs. It's just going to be able to take this dragon on his own.
Soloing.
Destiny not available for Fatty as well. And Dragon to 1/3 HP. They can't even get close to it. It's going to be gone. He ults over the wall. He steals away the Elder. This could be the moment. Zvene's going to Zhonya's for the moment. They find the knockup. Mervs is through far and away, though. And that's going to be one already picked up. That's the rocket. That's the hook. Here's the tidy up. It's a double kill. The Jinx is excited. And now they've got the Hex Strike. They've got the Dragon. They've got everything they need. Gabosh is going to get the next one. It's a triple kill for Mervs. Fatty P being chased down by Gabosh as they use themselves the exhaust to slow him down. Fatty P is going to be able to get out of this fight, but Munster just popping off when it counted. Even when the dragon is stolen away from them, they will win that team fight. This team have come alive, and I don't think a Twisted Fate has enough wave clear in him right now to be able to handle that. He's trying to kill Mervs. Mervs has way too much CC and way too many cleanses to get out of this one. And they're just going to pad those KDAs a little bit more. Shut down, picked up for Chimera, and a 35-minute win for Munster.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't as clean as Munster were hoping for. But Lightside definitely no easy opponent either. And honestly, really great show from both teams. I think, you know, towards the end, you steal away the Elder and you still lose the fight. I think it kind of goes to show the sort of situation they're in anyway, in terms of trying to match some of that damage profile, because Mervs was just too much online. The Caitlyn couldn't really stand up and sort of return that much DPS. And unfortunately for Lightside, despite having a very positive sort of mid to early game, in many aspects, and especially I liked some of the creative teleports, I should say, from Zvene, and some of the blame pressure he was putting out around those Baron dances. It wasn't quite enough, and Munster's composition, I think, just kind of did its thing, eventually outscaled, eventually sort of outranged in aspects it needed to outrange into, and it was able to bring home the win.
I think the big thing as well, like you said, it was a very traditional team. It was, you know, you have your wave clearing mage, you have your front to back tanks, you have your kind of support. She does a bit of everything. You got the Jinx as well. Overall, very, very solid game coming out from the side of Munster, and a needed win because they were 1-1 at the start of the day, and Lightside were 2-0. So, you know, able to tie up that score with them and try and catch up with some of the front runners here, because, you know, I know we're only on day 3, but if you can kind of stay in that top end, you're in a much better position as we move a little bit later on into the into Division 2. But anyway, for now, we're going to throw to a break, and when we're back, we're going to have an interview with one of our players. So we'll see you in a moment.